Okay, so today on Project Shop we're going to be taking a look at the rear end on this F350 dually. I'm getting a lot of clicking noise and funny noise when I put it in reverse and turn. So we're going to go ahead and pull the back cover off and check it out. Okay, so I got the parking brake on and got it in the neutral, and this thing got all kinds of play in it. So we're going to pop the rear end cover off and see where Before I get into this, I'm going to go ahead and pressure clean all this. I really hate working on stuff that's got grease. Okay, so I got everything cleaned and degreased, and I'm about to pull these off. But I'm going to see that silicone. Someone's obviously been here before. And since this truck only has 180,000 miles, I don't know what they were doing. But my truck had 480,000 when my rear end went. And my rear end had no fluid in it probably for months. So I don't know what's going on here, but we're about to find out. Okay, I got the cover off, and first thing I noticed is this milky brown. See, I had some black oil in there from before, but this brown milky diff oil seems like it could be contaminated with water maybe, and that could be the source of it. I'm not too sure. But we're gonna go ahead and pull the drive shaft off, and here's the maggot. Some little shavings. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear this, but seems like there's a little play in there. Okay, so we're under here, and man, these bolts here, I had a hard time finding the right size. The closest thing I found is a 5/16 6-point, and what I'm doing is I soaked it with some deep creep, and then hit it with a little bit of flame. But it's actually around here to expand this metal here. And then get your ratchet on there and give it a quick jerk, and that loosens up, and then take that out before you back it all the way out, because then the wrench will get stuck in there. So I'm going to pull the rest off and then see where we're at. So it looks like we got some issues right here. Okay, I got everything off, and as you can see, we got a lot of play there. So we're gonna have to pull that. I'm gonna let that soak overnight. I don't have a socket that big. I borrowed one from a neighbor when I did my truck, so I'll get that off tomorrow morning, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, this thing's been soaking all night, and I got a 1 7/8 socket. I'm gonna go ahead and try to take this thing off. Okay, this is how I broke that big nut loose. At first I tried the impact with a little bit of heat. I wasn't doing it, so I put the pipe wrench and a giant breaker bar with a 2-foot extension, and it came right off. Okay, I got the 2-jaw puller on there, and I'm gonna hit it with the impact, see if this thing won't slide off. Okay, that came off pretty easy, but as you can see, I don't think that's supposed to be doing that. So I think we're going to have to take out the ring gear. So we're going to have to pull this seal and then get to the back side. Okay, I got the seal out, and I just used seal puller. Came right out. Sometimes you might have to beat them out, tear them up, but now you can kind of see. I don't know if the back bearing is trashed or what? The front bearing doesn't look that bad. I mean, it is. All the things are in there, so we're gonna pull the pinion gear out or the ring gear out and see where we're at. Okay, so we're gonna pull the ring gear out, and it's gonna be these 4 bolts right here. I've already loosened them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them out and then drop it. Now be very careful when you take these out because there's shims down in there, I believe, on both sides, and you gotta make sure you put those shims back right. Otherwise the gear's not gonna mesh with the pinion. So we're gonna pull this out and see where we're at. Okay, before I can pull the ring gear out, you gotta remove all these bolts right here and pull the axle shafts out, probably about 6 inches, and do that on both sides, and it should come right out. Okay, once you remove those 8 15mm bolts, get yourself a rag ready because there's going to be some gear oil coming out, and then this thing just slides out. Just slide it out of the way, do the other side, and the ring gear should come right out. Okay, we got the ring gear out, and it doesn't look like it's all worn out or anything. I don't really see any shavings down here other than that little one there. I don't know why that's so loose like that. Maybe they didn't tighten it up enough, I don't know. But these are the shims. You got to make sure that you keep those left to right and that they go back in. Otherwise you'll be all out of whack. I don't know what this is about. Looks like someone's been in here. So we're going to try to pull that pinion out and see what we can do to get this fixed. Once it was loose, I just tapped it with a hammer and it just slid right out. But I want to show you this. This is the shim that's on the back side. I guess that's a thrust washer or something. But make sure that that goes back when you put all this back together. So we're going to keep that right there. Okay, I got the pinion out. And other than a little bit of dirt, these bearings are actually in really good condition, and it doesn't look like there's any wear or chips or points or I don't know. I think that someone just didn't tighten it down, or they tightened it down and it seemed like it was okay and loosened up somehow, or maybe they had the shims wrong. I mean, there's no metal shavings anywhere other than the oil looking a little milky, which is probably from that right there. This thing didn't look anywhere near as bad as mine when I took mine apart. So at this point, it might just need a re-shim job or just tightened up and a new seal. So I'm gonna get this all cleaned up and decide what I'm gonna do. Okay, so because of the condition of these bearings, they look really good to me. And I had my neighbor look at them, who's a mechanic, and everything looks good. So I'm going to clean this up, and hopefully it's just clean it up, tighten it up, torque it down to the right torque, and I got to buy a new pinion seal, but hopefully that's the extent of what's going on here. Okay, I got it all cleaned up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the pinion, I'm going to go stick it in my freezer, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it on top of a hot plate on low to warm it up, and hopefully this will shrink and that'll expand and help facilitate this going back together with ease.